একজন বড় একজন ছোট গান
Hare Krishna. Samjnanatmarandasya gyananjana shalakaya surmilitanena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manodistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the place of Nakula Brahmachari, and you can see the deities, very special deities, very unique form. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is dancing with the arms raised, and Lord Nityananda is with him. So on Lord Chaitanya's right is Lord Nityananda, and he is giving blessing, inviting everyone to come and take shelter. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was worshipped by Nakula Brahmachari. Nakula Brahmachari was living here, as the Pujari told us, and he had the good fortune that Mahaprabhu entered into his body. So that is called Avesha. Just like we have Shakti Avesha avatar. So Avesha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enters into someone's body. And this is what happened to Nakula Brahmachari. Mahaprabhu entered into his body. Here you can see Mahaprabhu. This is the portrait of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was done in Jagannath Puri. When Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri, Maharaj Prataparudra commissioned an artist to to do the portrait of Mahaprabhu, and that is a copy of the portrait which was produced during the time of Chaitanya's manifest presence in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the body of Nakula Brahmachari, and Nakula became ecstatic. He became full of ecstasy. He was displaying all of the different satvika forms, different transformations, the hairs of the body standing on end, and tears flowing from his eyes like rain. And it attracted a lot of attention. He was just like a madman, because Mahaprabhu was in his body and he was feeling the nectar, tasting the nectar of the holy name. And many crowds of people would come to see this Nakula Brahmachari. Many people would gather at his place. So the word was going around that Mahaprabhu has entered into the body of Nakula Brahmachari. But Shivananda Sen, who was a very intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doubted it. Because Mahaprabhu had gone off to Puri, he'd taken sannyas and he was living in Puri. And Shivananda Sen doubted that how is it possible that Mahaprabhu could enter into his body? I have doubts about it. But if I'm wrong, then he will let me see. So Shivananda Sen came here to this place, and there were many people. And Nakula Brahmachari, he said to the people around him that there's someone here called Shivananda Sen, and he doubts my ability. He doubts that Mahaprabhu is living in my body. Bring him here. So the people who were there, they went looking, they went to the back of the crowds, and they found out that there was someone called Shivananda Sen there. So they brought him forward to meet Nakula Brahmachari, and Nakula immediately told him that I know you are chanting the 4-syllable mantra, Gora mantra. The Gopal mantra, you're chanting the 4-syllable Gopal mantra, you're chanting Gauranga. Gauranga! 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 So Nakula Brahmachari revealed to Shivananda Sen that he was chanting this Gauranga mantra. And Srila Prabhupada explains that we also chant the 4-syllable mantra. We chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says there is no difference between chanting Gauranga and chanting Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. So the 4-syllable mantra is chanted by the devotees in our Krishna conscious society. So this Avesha form of Mahaprabhu was here. It was manifest here in the body of Nakula Brahmachari. So this is a place Mahaprabhu personally appeared here in the body of Nakula. So this morning we went to Ambika Kauna and we saw 3 places there. One place was the Imlitala. There was a place where the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were there. That was the resting place, that Mahaprabhu had came there and taken rest under the tree, the Imli tree. So that was the first place we went to. Or it depends, maybe you went in a different order. We all didn't go together, but they're all quite near to each other. Anyway, there were 3 important places. One was the resting place, where the lotus feet of Chaitanya were under the tree. The other place was the home of Surya Das Pandit. Surya Das Pandit was the brother of Gauri Das Pandit. And it was Surya Das Pandit who had two daughters. And these two daughters were given in marriage to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So Surya Das Pandit, he was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. And his two daughters, of course, one was Janava and the other was Vasudha. They were both married to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And the marriage place is just at the back, it's there in the compound. The temple is, as you come in the entrance, the temple is on the right, and on the left you go to the left side, and there's a tree, and around the tree there's some marble pavement, and that is the place where the marriage was performed for Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And you can see the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are there at that place. So the two wives, Janava and Vasudha, they were both married, both two sisters. There was a pastime, somebody just told me today about it, I never heard it before, but the pastime was that it was Janava was serving prasadam and the veil fell off and she manifested two other arms to put her veil on her head. She was at the time giving out prasadam, but she showed a four-arm form to put her veil on her head. So she revealed she was not an ordinary personality, she was actually the divine consort of Lord Nityananda. Just like Lord Balaram had two wives, Lord Balaram's two wives, one is Revati and the other was Varuni. So they said these two ladies appeared in Chaitanya Lila as the daughters of Surya Das Pandit. So Surya Das Pandit was the brother of Gauri Das Pandit. Gauri Das Pandit, that was the bigger temple we went to this morning, the bigger compound, more established, and they had the darshan, the unusual darshan. They opened the doors for a moment and closed the doors very quickly. So you only get a quick glance of the deities. So there's a reason for that. The reason, and if you saw actually when we were in the compound where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting, they have murals all around the wall of that compound. And the murals are showing the Leela which took place there with Gauri Das Pandit and the deities. If you know Bengali, then you can follow it. I don't know Bengali, I couldn't follow it all, but something I could understand from what I'd heard before. Anyway, Gauri Das Pandit was living there, he had a disciple called Hridoy Chaitanya. Hridoy Chaitanya. Gauri Das had the deities, those deities of Gauranitai, and they were specially made. What happened was Mahaprabhu had come there to stay with Gauri Das Pandit, and when he came there, Gauri Das wouldn't let him go. He said, "No, you have to stay. I'm not letting you go. I want you to stay with me forever." So he wouldn't let Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu arranged that we will carve some deities for you. So they recruited somebody to come, and they got big lots of wood, and they made these two beautiful deities of Gaur and Nitai. And the deities were exactly like Chaitanya and Nityananda. So when the deities were made, Mahaprabhu said to Gauri Das Pandit, "No, the deities are here. These deities are not different from us. So we will go, we'll leave the deities with you." But Gauridas said, no, no, I want you to stay. So then Mahaprabhu said, oh, we have to, he said, then the deities will go. So life came to the deities, and Mahaprabhu and Nityananda became deities. And the two deities were standing, and the deities were walking away. But when the deities were walking away, then Gauridas Pandit said, no, no, you have to stay. And this way, again and again, and it came to the point that they didn't know which one was the deity and which one was Gaunitai. So even today they don't know if the deities on the altar are actually Gaunitai or if they're the deities. Of course there's no difference, we know there's no difference, the deity, Gaunitai. But that's why they close the doors, because they're worried the deities will go away. So this Hriday Chaitanya, who was the disciple of Gauridas Pandit, he was worshipping the deities one day and he didn't lock the door. And when he didn't lock the door on the deities, they came back, the deities had gone. Where had they gone? They went looking for them, they were frantic. Where is Chaitanya and Nityananda? Where did they go? And then they found them with all the devotees having kirtan. And they brought the deities back. So Gauridas Pandit is a very great devotee, and he had disciples. I said Hriday Chaitanya was his disciple. There was also another person called Dukhi Krishna Das. So this Dukhi Krishna Das was a young man who'd come to take shelter in the ashram, and at that time Jiva Goswami had opened a school in Vrindavan for young men, that they could go to Vrindavan and be trained in the teachings of Mahaprabhu from Jiva Goswami. So this young boy, Dukhi Krishna Das, he said, it will be good for you to go to Vrindavan. You can stay in the Jiva Goswami school and learn everything. So Dukhi Krishna Das used to go, he was there in Vrindavan and he got accepted by Jiva Goswami, and he was given some seva to do. And his seva was to sweep the Rasa Stala. The Rasa Stala is the place where the Rasa Lila takes place. So every day he would go to the Rasa Stala and sweep and make sure everything was nice and clean and well taken care of, just like we should do at every temple. So one day it happened that Dukhi Krishna Das found some very, very special ankle bracelets from someone. And the ankle bracelets were very, very effulgent, they were very wonderful. And he thought, who could they belong to? And so he kept them, he put them somewhere safely, and it happened after some time, a young woman came and she's asking, did you see some ankle bracelets here? My friend has lost her ankle bracelet and I'm looking on her behalf. You please, did you find them here? Because I see you here every day, you're cleaning here. Did you find these ankle bracelets here? So then Dukhi Krishna Das, he gave the bracelets to the lady, and the lady took the bracelets and she put a mark on his forehead, and that mark became the tilak for this devotee. And not only did she do that, but she gave him another name. And she said, from now on your name should be Shyamananda. So Shyamananda was one of the very prominent students there in the school. He became one of the very top students in the school of Jiva Goswami, along with Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur. They were the three outstanding students. And Jiva Goswami, what happened was, Gauridas Pandit heard that now Dukhi Krishna Das has changed his name and he's become Shamananda. So Gauridas Pandit was upset. He didn't like it. Gauridas Pandit, you see, he's a cowherd boy. He's not in Gopi Bhav. He's a cowherd boy. He's one of the Sakas who were with Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda had the cowherd boys who would travel with him. They'd go everywhere preaching and doing kirtan, and they would go to places like Panihati and stay with what's the name? Who stayed in Panihati? What's Raghava Pandit and Damayanti. Raghava Pandit's home was in Panihati. It's a very beautiful place. It's where Raghunath got the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Panihati. So Lord Nityananda was traveling everywhere, and Gauridas Pandit would go with him. They were all like cowherd boys, and they played flutes, and they dressed up like cowherd boys. And you know, they carried ropes, because the cowherd boys would carry a rope to bind the back leg of the cow when they milk the cows, and this thing. So his mood was that Saka, the friendship. And he didn't like the Gopi Bhav thing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the people in Vrindavan, they're promoting the gopis as the topmost devotees. So Gauridas Pandit had a problem with this. And he came to Vrindavan, and he came to see Jiva Goswami, and he challenged him, "What right have you got to change the name of my disciple? I gave him initiation, how could you change his name?" And Jiva Goswami said, "I never changed his name." And they said, "Oh, he's got a new name, who gave him the new name?" And so they asked, "Who gave you that name?" And so then Shamanand explained what happened, that this gopi came, this girl came, and she gave me the name. And Gauridas Pandit was upset, but then he saw written on the back of Dukhi Krishna Das, the name Shamananda was written on his back. Somehow it had been mystically written onto the back of Dukhi Krishna Das. And so Gauridas Pandit accepted that Radharani is given him this name. So Shamananda, that he has a temple there in Vrindavan, and you can see the followers of Shamananda, they all wear this tilak, the same as Shamananda. Anyway, so he's connected to Gauridas Pandit. So Gauridas Pandit, he was the brother of Suryadas Pandit, and they were both very wonderful devotees, and they worship Gaura Nitai. You can see that we saw the beautiful deities there in the temple, and they're very careful that they won't go away. So they open the door very briefly and quickly close the door. Oh yeah, right. In the temple there of Gauri Krishna Das, Gauridas Pandit, and Gauridas Pandit's temple there, they had there was a glass case there at the side of the altar, and in the case there was one oar which is used for rowing the boat. So that oar was used by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he had come there. And he had personally given that oar to Gauridas Pandit. And inside that glass case also, there were some scrolls, written on leaves. But it's the Bhagavad Gita written by the hand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu's relics are there. the ore which he used, and the Bhagavad Gita which he wrote with his own hand. So those things are preserved there in that temple of Gauridas Pandit.
Nityananda Prabhu married the daughters of together or separately after one after?
Together. Yeah, he married them together.
The ore was like iron ore. How did that happen?
No, ore. It's a wooden ore. Ore is the name for the instrument used for rowing on the boat. O-A-R, not O-R-E. It's a different ore. Okay, so this is Goramandala Bhumi. We're not in Navadvip. This area is Goramandala Bhumi, the greater area of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We've come outside of Navadvip to visit these places. And many devotees lived in these villages in the time of Mahaprabhu. Every village would have a kirtan party, and they had their own kirtaniers, and they would all come to Jagannath Puri every year for Rathi Yatra. They'd walk all the way, and each of the villages would have their own kirtan party, and they would take part in the Rathi Yatra festival and perform kirtan with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this place, although it's a little bit far away from Navadvip, this is also connected with the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like Ekachakra is a little further away, that's also Goramandala Bhumi. And then Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya's home is, that is also Goramandala Bhumi. So we see these different places are all connected with the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, may I always visit all the holy places associated with the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here we are today, visiting these places and hearing about the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So not a lot of people here. One pujari is doing everything, working very hard, making offering, taking care of the deities. You can see the deities look very beautiful, very effulgent. Just like if you go to Champahati there they have Gaur Gadadhar, here you have Gaur Nitai. So different modes. But very ancient temple, 500 years old. These deities have been worshipped for a long time, maintaining the worship nicely. Alright, any questions, any other comments?
The footprints of Mahaprabhu over there, in Kala. We heard Mahaprabhu was 7 foot tall. The footprint look like our size.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that the footprints are exactly, just like we place footprints of Mahaprabhu. Just last year we went to the different forests of Vrindavan and we put the footprints of Mahaprabhu everywhere. We didn't make them a special size, you know.
We thought they are impressions of Mahaprabhu's actual foot.
I never heard anywhere that these are actually impressions, but usually we put the feet there and just preserve them, you know. Not that Mahaprabhu put his feet into clay and made a mold. No. Yes?
Maharaj, can you tell us about the pastime of Hriday Chaitanya? What's his relation to Gauridas Pandit? The Hriday Chaitanya pastime?
Hriday Chaitanya? Well, Hriday Chaitanya was the disciple. He was worshipping the deity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Brahmachari, they came off the altar. When he was worshipping the deity, he didn't lock the door. And the deities themselves came off the altar and went to join the kirtan. So Gauridas Pandit came back and chastised him. I told you, you must always lock the door. He would go away. So Hridaya Chaitanya, one who has Lord Chaitanya in his heart is full of Chaitanya. Just like Nakula. But Nakula was Abesha. Chaitanya was personal, he was there in that he possessed the body of Nakula Brahmachari. Hridaya Chaitanya, he has also the mood of each feeling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the heart by his devotion. So Hridaya Chaitanya, he went on, he also had disciples. All very wonderful devotees. So,
Gurudev Mataji has question.
yeah.
She asked two wives of Lord Nityananda, both of them were Lakshmis or not?
No, two wives of Lord Chaitanya, what is their identity? Two wives of Lord
Lord Nityananda.
Well, I said they were two wives who appeared with Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram had two wives. Right? Varuni and Revati. So these two ladies, they came as the consorts of Lord Nityananda. So
Are they a Lakshmi?
I don't know about that. Never heard this. They're the consorts of Lord Nityananda or Lord Balaram. Are they Lakshmi? Well, is Lord Krishna's wife is Lakshmi? Rukmini is Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. All the gopis, all the gopis are goddesses of fortune. But the gopis' position is higher than Lakshmi. The gopis are in Lakshmi, she's trying to become a gopi. She wants to be a gopi, but she cannot get into Rasa Lila. So Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda, he has his own gopis. They're different gopis from Krishna's gopis. So yeah, you could say they must also be goddesses of fortune. But the original Lakshmi is Rukmini, the consort of Lord Krishna, Mahalakshmi.
Mataji is asking, can you please tell something about Janavi Mata and her activities?
Janavi, Janava, well, she, after Lord Nityananda completed his pastimes from this world, then she went on to become the Acharya in the Sampradaya. And she went on to have a very prominent position, and she helped to keep this whole Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, to keep it in position and to encourage all the different devotees, because the devotees were all feeling greatly pained by the departure of Lord Chaitanya and then Lord Nityananda. So it was Janava who was doing a lot of work there to encourage the devotees and to keep them in good consciousness. And when they had the first Gornitai festival in Keturi, was it? In Keturi, right? The first Gornitai, at that time she also came and all the devotees were there. They'd all come from different parts. They'd come from far and wide. Narottam Das Thakur, of course, he organized the whole festival, and they had many deities installed, and they had wonderful, wonderful kirtans. So Janava was there, but she was the acharya. She was given the respect of the acharya, and she also had some disciples. Not too many, but there was one or two. Who were the disciples? One was
Her son, Virchandra Prabhu.
Virchandra, the son of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda had two children. They were both by Vasudha. Janava never had any children that we had, but it was Vasudha who had children. She had one daughter, Ganga Devi, and one son, Virachandra. So Virachandra was told to take initiation from Janava. She was initiated by him. So she became an initiating spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada said, it's not very common, very special ladies. You know, Janava was not an ordinary woman. She was a very, very elevated, very great soul. So she also went to Vrindavan, and she went to Radhakund, and you can see the place there at Radhakund, at the side of Radhakund. They've made a special seat for her where she could sit on the banks of Radhakund. And that it's preserved there. When you go to Radhakund, you can see the place where Janava had sat and meditated on the Lord, on the divine couple and their pastimes. So that's something about Janava. Alright, so maybe now we should have some kirtan. We've been doing a little bit kirtan, but all of us together in front of the deities, it would be nice to have some kirtan. Before, is the prasadam here? It's here? Sorry?
Ready for prasad.
Ready for prasad? 5 minutes kirtan? Okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya